Last time out in the Youth Academy Challenge save, we had just been covered to go top of the table in the Esca class for the first time in a while, and we're hoping that was enough to kickstart our season in the league to secure our 10th straight league title. We've also got 2 Champions League matches, and we've also got a youth intake today. So let's go over everything, shall we? The first game we had was against Real Sociedad in the Champions League, and we drew 0-0. So apparently we can draw against the bigger teams in the world now. I'm calling the Liga the bigger teams because, let's be frank, they're one of the big 5 leagues. The fact we didn't concede and we had more shots, admittedly not very good shots, but the fact we had more shots than they did and we didn't lose was a good sign to say the least. It gives me hope that we can do good things in the future. The same cannot be said about this match against Bayern Munich. They're really, really good. And my goalkeeper was upset at the time because he wanted to go to Chelsea, so I dropped him. Was that my best ever choice? Probably not. But the fact that only Smolik out of the players who started had above a 6.5 average rating is not a good sign for us, and really makes me wonder what on earth happened here. Bayern Munich are just too good right now, and I'm not surprised by the fact that we're beaten this badly. They've got a world-class squad still. But the next match we had was against Portuguesa, and we beat them 3-0, a comfortable win, and one we really should be winning every single time now. They had just 2 shots on target, 3 shots on goal, and we just made light work of them, and as far as I'm concerned, easy pickings. So who was our reward in the Champions League? Real Madrid in the knockout playoff round, and we lost 2-0 at home. This is one of those games where I think 9 times out of 10 we do lose, but we had the better XG with the better chances. Yes, we had less shots on goal, but we had more shots on target, and Adrian Joseph Harp was really good from the bench. He came on after Bob Ayew got injured, and it hurt us. More than I want to admit, Kimmich also broke his foot in this match, which is not ideal, and he's out for the rest of the season effectively. So none of us really got out of this unscathed effectively, but we were beaten 2-0. Real Madrid are really good. Can we at least say we did well getting the next leg is the question now. And can we come back from 2-0 down? Well, we beat Jagiellonians 2-0 next match, so at least we got that going for ourselves. And this is also with a rotated squad as well, so clearly not our best squad. Both our main fullbacks are injured. They were also injured for the Real Madrid game. And I'm hoping that we can at least do something in the next match. Especially given that we scored 2 goals in 3 minutes in this match. And we've shown we can do things with our weakened side. Then you can imagine my shock when we went to the Bernabeu and beat Real Madrid 2-1 in the night. Admittedly, we lost 3-2 overall, but the fact we won in 90 minutes against Real Madrid really tells me a lot, and also tells me if we had just done this in the first leg, we would be through right now. And that's the startling fact here. We legitimately played good enough over the 2 legs to have beaten Real Madrid. And this has given me a lot of hope in the future because I was not prepared for this. So Real Madrid beaten at the Bernabeu. Surely this means we got a good enough squad to beat some of the best teams in the world. Even if we lost overall 3-2. We still beat Real Madrid. They still have name value. They're so good still. I can't believe we won. We then took a leg at Vostabal, beat them 2-0 in the league, and quite frankly, we're still in a higher fan of the Real Madrid game, and I'm not surprised we're doing so well. We then beat Wilshaho 3-0 at their ground. It was easy enough. Yes, they had a good number of shots, admittedly, but their XG was so low per shot that it really didn't matter. But either way, another win to our collection. We then hosted Lech Poznan. They had an XG of 0.01. They had 1 shot all game, and it was off target. So, told a lie, it was not on target. It was blocked apparently. But we were really good, and we absolutely deserved to win this game in the Puchopolski quarterfinal. And in the next round of the Puchopolski, we take on Cracovia, and they are going to be an interesting game, given we've beaten them comfortably both times in the league this season. We then took a Graphics upset and drew 1-1, despite the fact we were ahead once upon a time. Victor Mentura is playing for them, our former centre-back. He really does look rubbish now compared to our players, doesn't he? A 2-star rating right now, unbelievably bad. But we should have won this game. They had their only shot on target and they got a point from it, so very disappointing. We need to be winning these games more often. Swaz Wadcliffe, we beat 5-2. Another one of the 4 players was playing. He actually scored this time, and I believe it's him. Yes, it's definitely this guy. He's 25, also not very good, and unambitious. He wants the club to keep David Quemon, who is still decent, but has now lost all his ability. Now he's turned 34. I remember with this guy was really, really good. He's on 17 grand a week. So clearly, he's going to be let go there of his contract, isn't he? But still, we won 5-2. We even gave a youngster a chance, and he scored in Leopard. Now, admittedly, this guy's not particularly good, but he scored in the league, and I'm giving him first team opportunities when we do not have our full strength squad, our best strikers available, and when we have an opportunity like we did today, where we are already comfortably clear by several goals. It just makes sense to give these young talents a chance, doesn't it? We need to give these young talents at least some opportunity to play football, and this was an opportunity in itself to do so. The last game we had was against Brookbeck Leticia. We beat them 3-0. It was very, very comfortable, and we've only dropped about 2 points in the league since we last met. So, how is the table looking right now is the question. Well, the table looks very good right now. We are now 7 points clear of Cracovia, because Cracovia dropped 7 points in their first 3 matches since we came back from the international break, and it was not great. At least I think it's 3 matches. It could have been, yes, it was 7 points because they drew 2 games and lost the game. So that's not great. In fact, they only won once in their first 5 matches before they won the last 2 matches. And that says a lot about how much can change in this period of time. And that showed you how much things can change in this period of time, because we're now comfortably clear at the top of the table and the league is looking more comfortable. Lech Poznan are now above Lech Wrocław. Lech Poznan, earlier this season, were in the relegation zone. And that's a thing to talk about. We've also had a youth intake. And let me tell you, it's not amazing, but we got some really exciting talent, I think. Simon Demski is the first of the talent and the most exciting of the talents. 4.5-star potential ability. Inconsistent, yes, but is fairly loyal, which I don't think I've ever had as a personality for one of my players so far, but he can be a winger. He could also be a striker if I really want him to be. So we've got options with this guy. Whether or not we'll be able to make him the inverse winger I want him to be, I don't know, but he's got the potential to do good things. We've also got Ibrahim Mitchell, a centre-back who's 6'4" and is Australian, fairly professional, and has 20 bravery. So clearly has some exciting talents here. And yes, he's a foreign non-EU player. I think he's literally just come from our affiliates. He has literally just come from our affiliates straight off the bat. So there you go. He's got to get the nationality in 1,092 days. The fact he's come from our affiliates, Western Sydney Wanderers, straight away is fascinating to me. And it tells me we've just got a player from our affiliates for our youth intakes, and it's really, really good. Now, he's got 14 tackling and 14 jumping reach, but he doesn't have the best of heading ability. He doesn't have the best marking ability, so clearly isn't going to be amazing straight off the bat. But he's got 4-star potential ability, which is good enough to be my first team plans, aka Visaluk, and that's about it for my first team plans in the centre-back position. So clearly he's got some talents. I just need to make sure he reaches that potential, I think. Rafael Samluk is the other player that has got 4-star potential ability. He is the striker of the intake. Admittedly, not a very good striker right now. Very inconsistent and bans personality, but he's got 15 flair and has got 13 dribbling, 15 balance, so clearly has something about him. I think his mental attributes are really good, but whether or not he can develop them into something amazing, I don't know, but we've got things to be excited about, and that's good. So now we're here again, we're looking at the competitions, and the league looks like it's ours. The Champions League, unfortunately, we got drawn against Real Madrid, but we did really well to actually cause problems for them, and we should be winning the Pucharpalski now, because once we get past Cracovia, we should be winning the next game very, very easily. I am going to go into the other competitions in Europe and show you what's happened, because I find it's fascinating what's happened here. So Real Sociedad got Villa, Shakhtar, who I wanted, got knocked out by Inter, so that's a thing. I could have got Shakhtar, I didn't get Shakhtar, and they lost by a decent scoreline, but we beat Real Madrid. It still feels stupid that I could say that. Milan also got beaten by Monaco, the team that we struggled against, and PSG had knocked out by Tottenham, so PSG just weren't very good. I'm now going to go into the other competitions in Europe and talk about the teams that made it so far. Legia Warsaw got to the knockout playoff round and beat Troyes on penalties to go through to the next round, but then got drawn against Wolfsburg and lost by 2-0 overall. So unfortunately for us, they weren't able to hold on and do well, but they got to the round of 16, which I think is the furthest they've ever gotten, and that's a good sign for me. It really is. It also means that we've got a team from Poland in the round of 16 for the second year running, and that's a very, very good sign. While in Europe, Conference League, JLAB won against Silkeborg, but they beat them by 3-0 over 2 legs. And then they beat Venezia on penalties in the round of 16, so they're in the quarterfinal of the Europa Conference League, and that's a very good sign right now. It is unfortunate potentially they've got Ajax, but I think they could do some damage. If they get past Ajax, only Wolves and potentially Club Brugge are teams I think that can really knock them out. St. Gallen and Tyrol are 2 teams I think they can beat. So could JLAB get to the semi-final of the Conference League and maybe even the final? I know it's wishful thinking on my part, but I'm excited by the prospect that that could happen. And all they need to do is get past Ajax, who I don't think have ever won this competition. They haven't. So Ajax, in the way of JLAB and a Polish team in the semi-final of the Europa Conference League for the first time in a very long time, if ever. I'm certain the team has done it before. In fact, I found it, and I'm going to go back to this year. The last time a team from Poland got to the semi-final of the Europa Conference League was Legia Warsaw, and they were beaten by Strasbourg. So clearly, we've got some talent this year, and I'm hoping we can do it. I really do hope we can pull it off. But first time since Legia Warsaw in 2030? That's 15 years ago. If we can match that in the Conference League this year, that's amazing. As a result of all this stuff in Europe, though, we've actually got a 8.7 year in the coefficients. We are surpassing the year we're losing, and we're only 0.3 points away from equaling what we did last year. So clearly something's gone right, and I'm delighted with how this has gone. I just hope that we can improve even more and get further and further ahead. And as things stand, we will go up to 10th place. I am a little concerned about Scotland. I was at least anyway, but then I realised how many points they're losing. But Switzerland could be a problem, as could Ukraine. But I don't think they've got any teams left, so we might be good. But what I'm going to do is end this here. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys will like and share this video. And that you subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. What do you think of this season so far? What do you think of our victory over Real Madrid? And what do you think of JLAB's adventures in Europe so far? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions and all of that down below. But anyway, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.